environment, you'll also find Melinda. She is from Alaska Geographic. We bring Melinda on board not just because we love her, but because everything that she has for sale at the Alaska Geographic bookstore.
You see the mountain goats at all?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Alaska Public Lands.
When we first came, but
in Alaska.
not walking.
Make sure you go visit them both. We also have a cultural interpreter on board, a Huna Klinget person who can call this place home,
Earth was formed,
ancestral homeland. His name is Gary. He is here with Alaska Native Voices. You can also find him in the crow's nest.
And you know,
the way that we got on board, well, it was kind of exciting. It involved a rope ladder. We came on board from our pilot vessel and brought all of this to share with you, brought our knowledge and our itinerary for today. So why are we here? Well, we are here, the Park Service, Alaska Native Voices, Alaska Geographic. We're here to answer your questions. We're here to share with you the latest research.
A nice place to have an office here with the computer. You can look out.
People that are talking to rangers, when they're not on ship, are they working?
They have
a ranger station
here for 1 day.
And I will come back and tell you more about our route and plan for today. You can tune in at the Crow's Nest. You can tune in on your live TV channel or any outer decks on the public address system. Keep your jacket, your map, and your binoculars handy. And as you look outside, I want to read you the words of our local author, Kim Wilcox. This is what he writes in our Glacier Bay handbook. This is Glacier Bay, a homeland, a national park, a biosphere reserve, and a World Heritage Site. A place to lose yourself and find yourself and lose yourself again. To explore deeply, but also lightly, with gratitude, curiosity, and a healthy sense of wonder. Well, as you enjoy your morning here in your national park and look forward to everything that we'll enjoy today, I want you to start to exercise your sense of wonder. Look outside. I'll be back on shortly. Stay tuned.
What people will do is cut it down from the bottom. I like to dig it up because you can use the roots. What I do with the roots is I clean them out, take all the bark on them, and then you just suckle on it, and you got a rock star. High energy.
A rock star, right?
Yeah, high energy, and then, well, they'll cut them off, they'll dry it out, they'll take all the needles off and all the brown bark. Underneath will be all green bark. I'll shave that green bark into another pot about 2/3 of the way. Fill up some spring water just above it, about 2 to 2.5 inches. Boil it, cover it, put it in the refrigerator, and let it condense all the way up. Then you filter it out into a gallon jug, and you got our medicine, devil's club juice. Used for colds and flus, just about anything. My mom used it faithfully for 1 year, 2/3 of a cup. Went to her doctor said, Mrs. Brown, what are you doing for your sugar diabetes? Following your directions, taking the medication, and drinking devil's club juice. He said, that's great. Continue what you're doing, but stop taking your medication. And then we'll find out that there's different strokes for different folks that don't work for everybody. So we did some extensive research on there, and we found out that some people were making it out of season. And when you make it out of season, it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
And then we did a little more research, and then a lot of people weren't taking it like a medicine. When they get that tea on there and that juice on there, they think it's a flavored drink or something. Then they end up drinking too much medicine, you get sick. And then a lot of people say, well, we take it, but it got us sick. How much did you take? And so then they'll have that red berries on top. And those red berries, the brown bear will eat it for a laxative. And our people will pick it if they have lice in the pulp it down to a pulp, mix it in with shampoo, and we'll get rid of the lice. Oh. So we have a lot of medicinal plants and a lot of plants that we use. for our remedy. And another one is the Hudson Bay tea. That's a little tea leaf that we get out of the muskeg close by a spruce tree, and that's a Theraflu. And that'll help while you cold and flus. You just put some fireweed honey in there, and then you got it made. And you save a few bucks. So we do a lot of our remedy, a lot of our medicinal plants, and all our plants we still use today. And right now everybody's looking at the salmonberry, because the salmonberry is like a blackberry. And the reason it's called the salmonberry is right now it's starting to get ripe. So we know the fish are starting to come up the creek. When it starts turning yellow, we know the fish are starting to gather around right by the mouth of the creek, and they're eating all the algae. And the first run of fish come in, they clear the path for all the fish that come in. And they clear that algae, then they run up the creek. When the salmonberry's bright red, we know all the fish are up the creek. When all the fish are up in the creek, we know all Mother Nature's all done having her young, and we can start processing our food again. So we use a lot of plants, a lot of animals, and everything for a change of times. Another one we look at is the fireweed. You guys familiar with the fireweed? It's a weed that comes after a fire. It'll be one of the very first plants, but it carries some nectar in it. And we use that as a clock for our summer months. And it blooms all the way to the top, and we know the summer's over. And when it starts shooting out the fireweed, the seeds, we know that our Indian summer's about to begin. So we use a lot of plants, a lot of animals all our time, and the biggest time at our time was the tides. Every 6 hours we have a tide change, and so we use the tide as our clock. And we can have a 24 difference drop in our tide in one day, every 6 hours. Right now you have a -1, so you're looking at a 21-foot drop in tides today. Yeah. So, I went through everything, I'll go again. Oh, this one. All right, this one's the moccasin, obviously. That seal, the harbor seal. This one's the sea otter. It's over on the bench, and this one has the million hairs per square inch. And that's underneath, that's the moose hide.
These things are sweet.
And very pliable and everything. Like I said, the men will put theirs all the way up on top, and then they'll use the deer hooves around. So when they're dancing, they got that nice hypnotic dance. And then when the performance is all over, they have to be quiet. So you're looking at a penguin. Trying to walk off the stage. I told you not to use it.
So what are those out there on the stick? This right here. What is this?
These are the Sitka blacktail hooves. Come off the deer.
Oh, off the deer.
Off the deer, the hooves. You just boil it for 3 minutes. Take the screwdriver and pops right off. And then they drill it and put it in there. The handle, you all use the shin bone of the deer, or use as much of the animal as you can. Whatever we don't have left on animal from the woods, we'll take all the excess bones and everything, we turn it into the woods. And whatever all the fish bones, we turn back into the sea for the respect of the animal. That we return everything to where we got it.
Is that a halibut hook in his chest?
No.
What is that? Different hook?
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
What about the on your chest there? What
This
is
one is an
Bear claw?
apprenticeship necklace. This shows that I am next in line to be the leader of our tribe, Take Lady.
Okay.
My brother is the original leader right now. And his necklace, he's 6'5", 350, so his necklace is way like that. And these are the pinkies from the brown bear, the pinky. And we don't hunt the bear or the whale because we don't have a use for them. But if we get it as a gift, we'll use it. And we have ties with the state of Alaska. They have, every time they find a carcass of an animal, they send it up there to get an autopsy. And after they're all done with it, they send it back to the tribe so we can use it. So we just don't go out and get any animal, then bring it back and show it off. But we have to have a purpose for it.
Like what happened?
Everything that you get just enough for yourself. If you get excess over, then you hand it over to anybody that needs it. Mostly our elders. Our elders are our most precious assets in our community. We'll do everything to keep them in our community. They hold our culture, our history, our language, everything. So we'll hunt for them, we fish for them, we make them as comfortable as possible in our community. Our community is only like 825 people year-round. Right now, in the middle of the season, we're about 1,000 people. Anything else that I miss? I go through this all day.
Yeah,
It's just
we
one.
came kind of late. I was wondering what this is.
Okay, this is again. That don't mind because I only explain about 300 times a day with this. This guy is a halibut hook that's designed only to catch 180 to 120 pound halibut. After they reach over 100 pounds, they metamorphosize themselves into a female. And to preserve the species, we come up with this hook. Anything over 120 pounds won't be able to penetrate, take this new hook. Anything under 80 pounds won't be come over this hook.
So here you are,
Put together by two different pieces of wood. That's the yellow cedar. The design will be their spirit helper. And you wouldn't have the abalone because this one's on display. And the bottom piece of wood is all the wood, the heavier piece of wood. And it's held together by the spruce root.
Are there?
And the spruce root's used to weave hats and baskets that repel water and hold water.
Well, what is the point
Your
of these
wedgie bait in
national
here,
parks, of which
this
we
is
are now
the
celebrating
shin
over
bone from the
100 years?
single black-tailed deer that's the strongest bone in the animal. You file it down and use it, and to measure the angle, you use your thumb.
I think he says it best. He says the national
And
park
then
idea has been
up on top would be hooked into a buoy, which would be a seal stomach.
today across our land, the national park
And then on the
system
bottom, you raveled a rock on there and put it into a slip knot, so that once you catch the fish, the slip knot will come off, unravel the rock, and you only have the halibut and the hook will pull up.
to this country.
This will be about 3 feet off
Well,
the
the National
ground
Park idea has
on the
taken off
bottom.
around the world.
And
China,
that way it gets
Australia,
some
New
of the
Zealand,
tidal
Costa
movement,
Rica,
and the two
many
pieces of
countries
wood
also have
will be going
national
back and
parks.
forth like
But
this
what
on
about
top.
Glacier Bay?
So your buoy on top water will be going like
reaches
this.
far beyond this beautiful
And after it catches the halibut, becomes dead weight,
Here
your
in
buoy
this
will
national
stop,
park, we preserve the
submerge
corner
about a
of the
little bit,
world where
stay
tidal
dormant. That when you know you got the halibut, so you pull it up.
into the ocean.
Pretty ingenious, and all the technology that you see today for the circle hooks come off of this hook right here.
And here we visit in the homeland of the Native people.
And the circle
But
hooks
for me,
don't
it's the
take off
story
the
of this
100
place
pounder.
that is so stunning.
And they're used commercially, and we're guilty of that too, because I
And
had
as
to
you
make a
do that,
living.
I will be your storyteller.
And the largest halibut that we caught commercially up in Koyak was a 524-pound halibut,
stories.
9.5
But here's my
feet tall.
ranger challenge.
Took us
I want
40 minutes
you
to get inside the
To raise your hand if you have
And
a
we're
favorite
lucky it was
place
dead.
outdoors that
If
you
it
love.
was alive, we would have probably lost it.
I see those
They're
raised
really,
hands on the
really
bow.
straight fish, and we're in
Now
the
take
ocean.
your raised hand if you
The only
have a
reason it
place
took us so
outside
long to
nature.
pull up is
High
we did
five
it up.
someone next to you.
And then the
And
ocean
tell
small,
them a
we can bring the
story
boat
about your
down
favorite
and
place.
I have to roll it back down. And as 524 pounds, that was without the heads and the fins. So we figured it was about 650 pounds.
And that was on one of those?
No, it was not on one of these, the commercial circle hook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this is designed only to catch an 80 to 120 pound halibut.
And what do you use for bait?
You use for bait, you'd use a herring or cod or a squid, and you just tie it up in there. And when they first brought it out, they used skunk cabbage. You guys familiar with the skunk cabbage?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it has a yellow corn husk on there, and they just cut it off and put it on there. Yeah, and skunk cabbage is also a medicinal plant for us that we use. We use a lot of medicinal plants.
They like the smell of it.
And then after that, they start putting the fish in there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty clever.
What's now the Macaw Indians in Seattle? I'm from Seattle, and they were hunting whales at one time. Are they still doing that? Do you know? Or?
I have no idea. Clinkets have never hunted the whale in their entire history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you know
We
about-
have so much abundance of food here. We never looked at a whale as a source of food.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Very good.
And we had the same thing. The only time that we hunted the bears was in the old times because we needed furs. Now we got blankets and everything. We don't hunt the bear because we don't have a use for them. They're very strong. They're very tough to eat. It takes over 2.5 hours to make one meal.
Wow.
And so it's just nutty fishing enough for us to handle.
So what's the main food source?
Food source? Mostly fish.
Fish, okay.
Fish and deer meat, seal meat, and store-bought meat. Yeah. Just like everybody else in the United States, we do go to the store.
Have a Costco's here, or?
Over in Juneau, we have Costco.
Oh, okay.
They have Fred Meyer's. Walmart closed down, and I think the bacon building is going to be Target.
You got a McDonald's here?
We got a McDonald's over in Juneau.
Okay.
And over on the island, the only fast food you're going to find on the island in Huna is the deer.
It is fast.
Yeah. Now your tribe is right in Glacier Bay, or where's your?
This is our ancestral hometown.
Okay.
We live in Huna. It's just across the strait. If you come over.
Oh, Hannah, that's where the Brown family is, isn't it? Do they,
Yeah, we're brown.
Are you part of the Bush fam? The Bush?
Yeah,
the
Bush, they're really fake. Their show is canceled, and we're really glad.
But are you related though? Because
No, I'm a different brown. They're white, and I'm
right.
Lincoln.
But they call it Brown. Okay, but that's just their last name, I guess.
Yeah, they were all organized and everything. It wasn't a reality show.
Maybe they lived in Seattle or something. They just
Yeah,
moved there. Yeah,
and
okay.
they lived in the launch and everything, and they got all their food delivered and everything.
But that's where they were living, is in Huna,
In
right?
Huna, yeah. They're making up all kinds of stuff about Huna, and then our tribe just got together and told them this needs to stop. I'll just take the show elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're not going to portray us in the right manner, we don't want you here.
Oh, okay.
But Huna is right down in here.
So
Right
where are we?
We're up here. This is where we got picked up. I'm stationed right here. We're up here. This is Drake Island. We're coming up right in here.
So you live right there then?
Yeah, we live right there.
You live in
This
Huna,
is
okay.
after the ice pushes out. Ice pushed almost to Point Adolphus, and our people just went across the strait and relocated. We ended up in Splasky first, and then relocated into Kutskayi, which is Port Frederick on the map. And then Wishketons came over here inside Excursion Inlet. And the Wishketons went a little further down into a place called Groundhog Bay. And the ice came and pushed it so far, the Ducktane were coming from Latuya Bay, and before they got home, the ice blocked them, so they got stuck on the outside and remained on the outside until the ice permitted them to come back home.
Okay. And so we're located where now again? Right now?
We're about up in here.
Oh, okay.
That is, we had just passed Gloomy Knob, so we're up here. We're probably this is Clinket Point.
And then we're going to go to Glacier Bay later on this afternoon. So
we're in Glacier Bay. We're going to go all the way up to Grand Pacific, 65 miles up, and then we'll come back down. The Grand Pacific Glacier is the fastest retreating glacier and the fastest advancing glacier in history. In just 250 years, it retreated back 65 miles.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So how much does it move a year? Do you know?
It hardly moves now.
Oh, okay.
And it's all dried up on the ground and everything. It looks all dirty from the front. But as you go in, you can see it goes all the way back 31 miles.
But now the ice keeps breaking off, though, every day.
On the Marjorie Glacier does.
So that,
not the Grand Pacific.
Oh,
Glacier.
okay. So the Marjorie, how fast does that move? I mean, is it like...
It moves about like 6 feet a day.
6 feet a day?
A day. Yeah, back in the mountains, you got Mount Fairweather. They accumulate about 100 feet a year of snow. That's what stabilizes the Marjorie Glacier.
So,
but it's slowing down to where they're starting to figure out that it's pretty soon it's going to be like the Reed Glacier standing on it.
So how long will it last, you think? It's 6 feet a day. You wonder how long it's going to last if it keeps going.
It's lasted. The global warming, nobody knows.
Because in the wintertime, it probably slows way down then?
Yeah, it probably does, yeah.
So 6 feet during the summertime?
To find out about the wintertime, it's just too harsh up here. The environment up here is just way too harsh. And it's all desolate. You can't even have cell service or anything up here.
So how cold do you think it gets here in the middle of winter?
In the middle of winter, probably down below freezing. Over in Huna, which was, like I said, just across the strait. In our winter, we average 25 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit above. We rarely get below freezing.
Oh, okay.
Now you get Juneau, over here, and Juneau has what they call Taku winds in the middle of the winter. And those are north winds that exceed 100 and 125 miles an hour.
Jeez.
And we're only 48 miles away from Juneau, and we won't feel a thing of it because we're protected from the north wind.
So
inside the bay.
Taku wind, when it comes like a gale. And there have been many shipwrecks on when the Taku catches them.
Today we travel back into
Yeah, nobody does any travel in the winter when the weather's that extreme.
Is there a place called Taku Inlet?
Taku Inlet?
Well, now I'm going to tell you about our
Is it
route and our plan for today.
Is it a
But before I do that, I
salmon
want to
cannery
point out
in one of the
something
inlets where
important.
they catch the
Right
salmon
off the
coming
bow on the left-hand side, we
and
can
can them
see
and
a
salmon
research vessel.
around
Over in
Juneau?
Excursion Inlet,
11 o'clock
they
position
have
at
fish
this moment.
cannery up in
You
there.
can just barely see it
Over in
because
Juneau, they have
nature
fish
is flying through the
cannery.
waters.
That will
That
sell the
research
fish.
vessel is the
But these are the wild salmon coming back to spawn, and they have this thing at the inlet that they catch the fish and put it in cans.
No. The hatchery, that's over in Juneau. Over in Huna, we don't allow any hatcheries or anything like that. Everything has to be wild.
So do you catch salmon like with a
You can catch it with a rod and reel, or else you can catch it trolling. Yeah. Fish traps are illegal.
At one time, they used to put traps in the mouth of the inlets.
Yes,
but that's
all
illegal.
illegal. Yeah. Catching too much fish, went out there and wrecked them.
Now, are you tilling it? Are you tilling it? Tilling it? What's your tribe?
I'm slinking.
Slinking.
Yeah.
Tide people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your tribe is the one who fought the Russians.
The Russians, yes.
Is Catalan a name of a chief?
Catalan's a chief from Sitka.
From Sitka.
Yeah.
So he led the fight against the Russian
Yes.
Depending on its condition.
Twice.
twice. And
The second time they went and repolished and we brought back another ship.
Right.
And then they overshot the cannons on their first round, and so the Clinkets laid back and watched the show.
yeah.
And then they zeroed in on them.
Don't worry,
And then the real fighting started.
No, it was a Canadian ship. The ship which came.
No, it was a Russian ship.
Russian ship.
Yeah. Canadian influence hardly had any influence in here.
So Canadians were never in this area.
They were in the area, but they never had any influence. The Russians were in here, and they only had fortified rights. They were only allowed in their fort. If they got out of their fort, their fair game, they could be killed. They found out that they could not dominate the Tlingit. The Tlingit are warm people. The only reason they overtook the Aleuts is the Aleuts are peaceful people.
Right.
And they took care of them. When they came down here, they found a whole different story, that they can't control them.
Because you were
Because we were 250,000 strong right in this area, the whole southeast Alaska. We had domination over the land, people, everything. All the otters that you see in here, all the sea lions that you see in here, were all kept on the outside ocean because they can wreck an ecosystem faster than they can. So our warriors would just take them out and just put them back in the ocean. They were never allowed on the inside
the
borders.
Russians.
The Russians were only allowed in their forts.
Right.
Yeah, they had no control over us. We had control over them. That's why they sold us. They sold the fort rights. And then after the forts rights were sold, the United States took it as the whole state of Alaska. So they got the whole state of Alaska, and what did they get? They get us. For what? For free. Not what you're going to do with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So in 1972, when they had the Alaskan Land Act,
1971.
71.
Yeah.
Did you get your rights back?
No.
No.
It got worse.
It got worse.
It got worse. Only reason it got worse is because a lot of the state officials that went out to get the Alaska Native Settlement Claim Act, they went out and got all their information from city officials, not the real people that live there. And so they wound up with all this information. Now anybody can do our subsistence way of life. And we had to put subsistence in there because they couldn't read our language, Kusti. Kusti is a way of life. Subsistence is supposed to be a way of life. And now it's taken away from us.
Because subsistence in the lower 48 is people living on government handouts. Subsistence over here means living off the land independently.
Independently. And it's in reality, it's called Kusti.
Kisti.
Yeah.
And that's a native language.
That's a native language. Yeah. That's the way we've been all the time. It's a way of life. And now the rules and regulation taught us how to steal. It's true. Because the way of life, because you get rules and regulations in there that we always just go out and get it because that's the way we did it for generations and generations for time immemorial. The latest scientific finding they found was 14,000 years back from where our people live.
Right.
And our history dates back further than that.
Right. From Siberia.
Not from Siberia. Don't bring that up. Don't get me riled up.
Well, I will come back and talk to you.
All right. Hello. Hi.
Can you tell us about that? The medicine. Can you tell that story again about what roots you're talking about that can make tea and for medicine?
All right. Let's start off with this. Okay, this stand right here, this comes from the ginseng. This is a devil's club. And the devil's club will have spines all over it. And on top, it'll look like a clover leaf. Underneath will have spines. And on the very top will be red berries. You start off green and everything. But we'll use it as a medicinal plant. We'll take it down, take all the brown bark, all the needles off, and underneath will be green bark. We'll take that green bark off and put it inside a pot. Fill it up with water, boil it, condense it, and filter it out. And then you got devil's club juice, which is used for colds, flus, just about everything. My mom used it faithfully for 1 year, 2/3 of a cup every day. Went back to her doctor, and the doctor said, "What are you doing for your sugar diabetes?" And taking your medication, following your instructions, and taking devil's club juice. He said, "That's great. Continue what you're doing, but stop taking your medication."
Really?
Yeah. But we found out it's different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Doesn't work for everybody. And we did a more extensive research. We found out people were making that out of season. They weren't making it right. And then they were taking too much of it. You take too much of the medicine, you get sick. And that's what they're complaining about it. Well, I took it, but it got me sick. How much did you take?
Right.
Yeah. When you take too much medicine, you get real sick. You drink too much alcohol, you get drunk. It's the same thing. Only thing, this one will get you really sick. So if you use it right, a very wonderful drug. You don't use it right, side effects are sitting on the toilet with a roll of tissue. Kids program, I didn't even know about it. I'll get everything ready and go down.
Okay.
I gotta know about this stuff so I can be ready. I didn't see it on the plan, that's why.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was good.